$10.
It's here too.
He needs to amend his budget now. $10.
Yeah. We've got time. August 31st. We can do that. $10 or 10%.
All right, you guys are live. Thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
welcome to the July 27th meeting of the Board of County Commissioners. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, first item on our agenda is public comments.
I have one real quick.
John,
before we
okay.
get- Good morning, Commissioners. Just want to remind you that the transfer station will be closed Saturday, all day and back open on Monday. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's for some scheduled repair work, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, any other public comment? Okay, our second item is the presentation of the 4-H cookie jar by the Raleigh County 4-H Teen and Queen.
Favorite meetings of the year.
Yes.
So this is a cookie jar filled with cookies made by the 4-Hers that they brought to the fair, and it's just a thank you for everything that you do for our program.
Thank you. Thank you for all you guys do.
Yeah, and what are you?
It's been a tough couple of
Introduce
years.
yourselves.
So my name is Michaela Machen.
Okay,
I'm Cody Sharp.
nice to meet you.
May I take a picture of you all together like I always do?
Yep.
They like to stand up. Go around. And
You want
one
this
of
to-
you has a cookie.
Oh, no. You can just leave that, right? Oh, you want to take a picture of it?
Yes, I want a picture of you with. me.
Okay, we.
Okay, let's see, you're tall, so you want to come a little closer in. There we go. Maybe get us all.
Make sure we don't lose his head here. That wouldn't be good.
It's losing his head.
That's true.
Ready? Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
If there's no further public comment, we can move to commission comments. Commissioner McKinley?
Good. Okay, after a meeting Monday, I attended the intergovernmental luncheon. Had a presentation by Asia Sampson on the work she's been doing with the opioid talks and stuff to schools. She does a good job, and I hope they find a way to keep her after that grant expires. She does a good job. I'd like to see her stick around. And then Clancy also gave an update on the LNHTR work being done, trying to get it through some extra effort to get it through the legislature in 24. In the afternoon, I had the pleasure of another Pence view, a nice afternoon walk in some pleasant weather.
Is that
Were you at the same one I was at?
Maybe not exactly like that. No, I could bring the water out of my shirt. Then Wednesday afternoon, we had a progress meeting at the Leonardville Ambulance Station. Logcat Tree was finishing the clearing for the alley, so that we were ready to go. Plumbing and electrical on the inside being installed. The outside, not much has been done, but the siding, shingles, windows, doors should be next week. We'll start getting the outside of it finished up. And that's what I've got.
Okay, Commissioner Ford.
You know, mine's somewhat of a mirror of Commissioner McKinley's there. So Monday afternoon, I attended that same intergovernmental meeting up at Rocking Hayes at K-State for the same presentations, obviously. Very well attended. I think that might have been one of the larger attended meetings I can remember, at least since 19 anyway. I guess things at the health department and LFETR is attention grabbing. Maybe so. Monday afternoon, yeah, I attended that fence viewing up in the Sweet Peak area as well. Very interesting. Wasn't just a fence, it was a large pond and jungle and
No poison ivy?
I don't know yet.
There was
There was poison ivy all over and I haven't seen it yet. That was my
everywhere this
yeah.
year.
Oh, it's.
I haven't seen it pop up yet, but for me, when I get it, it doesn't, I'm not allergic to it, but I can't get rid of it easily. So if that is, I'm gonna send a bill to the county counselor's office.
Workers' comp.
And and we'll get all that squared away.
Send the bill.
So send it to us, it's workers' comp.
You get special file for those bills, right?
There he is.
They send back an IOU and then we just have to go at it after that. My attorney talks to his attorney and you know how those things go. Anyway.
Instead of fence.
Thankfully, yes, it was extremely hot, but thankfully, most of our dialogue did take place in the shade of what I'm going to call a Kansas jungle. And it was kind of a up and down and curvy and fun stuff. But the good news and the silver lining is it did look like maybe there's a applicable solution that came out of the conversation, and maybe both parties can move forward and we can move on to other things too. So Tuesday afternoon, attended the monthly board of directors meeting, planning mental health via Zoom. Started with the finance oversight committee meeting report first, pre-meeting, of course, and then some of the topics discussed at the actual board meeting was chief financial officer's report, approval of the 2024 fiscal agency's budget. Robin Cole gave an update, chief executive officer's update, as well as the fiscal year 23, believe it or not, we're moving right along on that. Annual update as well. We got a safety committee report, an annual report from them. Craig Poe gave that their HR person. See some other business, marketing and development, spoke on a few things, some things that will be happening at the end of the year. Obviously with the transfer from where they've been to CCBHC, which I finally got right. Don't ask me to remember what that whole thing is. I'm step out of time on that. They're doing some shifting a little bit things differently than they do most of the year. So there'll be some more information coming out throughout the fall as well. Discussed a Medicaid expansion article that the CCBHC communities put up with. And out there, I don't know if anybody locally has picked up on that or not, but there'll be some sign-up sheets going around through the board for county and city recovery month, which I believe is in September. So I'm working ahead on that one. I also gave mention of the fact that KAC is going to have a webinar on the 2nd, dealing with state hospital reimbursements for when we have patients either in the emergency room or various places that are waiting to move to state hospitals. They're supposed to be in reimbursement coming through on that. If anybody wants to link to that, let me know and I'll send it through channels and you can check that out. August 2nd is the date for that, 2 p.m. Had a couple other items and just talking about some of their marketing and social media work. And we won't be meeting in August. We'll be meeting again in late September. Remember, there's a summit in then early September, that first week of September. So they'll be working on getting that put together, and then we'll come back in late September and kind of review everything from that. And then finally, as Heathcliff here will kind of tell us, the fair is this week. Rodeo starting this evening. I know it's incredibly hot outside. It is a great time to see what our 4-H kids and families have been working on throughout the year, and chance to see some other events, booths, carnival rides. What am I missing? Said the rodeo, right? Not missing anything else.
Food.
Most important thing up there.
And I'll be judging cookies on Sunday.
You're good.
Yeah, I think they were going to do baked goods again, and they decided on cookies. So I don't know. This may be a conflict of interest. That may be a conflict of interest. Now I mention it, but We can be objective still. We'll figure it out. That's all I've got this morning.
Okay, well, Monday, I also attended the intergovernmental luncheon at Rock and K's. Other than what you all have presented, I did want to say that there are going to be some public presentations of drug awareness and prevention program, a film at AMC Theater for the next, well, I guess it will be then this next Tuesday evening at 6:00. It's open to the public for informational purposes on drug abuse and substance abuse. So anyway, the report was made by Clancy Bowman on the ad valorem tax reduction fund. And then other announcements were made by the various public entities attending. And included in that were the school opening dates. USD 383 will be opening on August 16th and K-State on August 21st. So that's of note, and all the traffic, take care of it. There'll be a move in, I think, the week I think they said the 16th, the weekend before school starts. So keep your radar up for all the added traffic. Let's see. I also attended the fence viewing with Commissioners Clancy Bowman and Cindy Cabral, and it was up in the furthest northern part of the county. Two property owners are in dispute on fencing on shared pond. We did a lot of walking in the rough terrain. It took me a couple days for my muscles to recover, but it was a beautiful area. It was just very, very rough terrain. We reviewed the issues with one owner's attorney and the other rancher. And at the end of the meeting, they agreed on getting an estimate on building a new fence in the disputed location and splitting the cost 50-50. Hopefully, they will agree on that with the owner of the other property, not just his attorney. After they get the dollar numbers. So hopefully that's pretty much resolved. Tuesday morning, I had a meeting with Mr. Westervelt, bringing him up to speed on the efforts to solve the Keats wastewater problem. He has some suggestions and insight that is appreciated. Later, I spoke with Team Keats on Brian's plan going forward. Also called the property owner, advised him of the upcoming steps. I do, as another comment, need to make some corrections to the article in the Mercury on that. We didn't vote to fund a sewer lagoon in Keats. We voted to add some additional money to BG Consultants to look at the site plan and give us some new numbers. There were a lot of issues in that article that weren't correct. So if you have some questions, please give one of us a call or send us an email or attend the next meeting. So I hate to say that. It's just it's very difficult to get everything right. Then I also had a call on Tuesday from a constituent who was very concerned about our underserved population in the area in this high heat. Apparently, there aren't any plans by the city for any cooling stations anywhere.
They do.
They gave me some
Yeah.
things to go, and that
Yeah.
good. Also, that maybe we could join in with them too.
I know we typically try to use Potroff Hall, but obviously that's occupied this week. So they've got several different locations. There was an email just sent this morning about it.
Okay, well, there are places that are open, like Be Able is open until 4:00 every day. And then the community meals start at, they can go into air conditioning for meals at 5:30 and they close at like 7. So there is some break in their places that people can go. So.
The Historical Museum will offer some during their business hours, Saturday and Sunday from 2 to 5. Town centers open during its regular time, as well as the library. You mentioned Be Able. The Manhattan Senior Center, or Manhattan Senior Center in Riley County, I guess. They're Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And I'm sure there's probably a list of churches and some other nonprofit organizations that'll be open for the same purpose.
And it's not necessarily a place to sleep, which we do in the wintertime, but just to get out of the heat. Okay, that's all I have. So let's go on to business.
First on behalf of Commissioners Riley County Personnel Action Form, Stephen Cortez, part-time seasonal labor in the Public Works Department, separation of service. All three signed, please.
What's that bring you down to now?
And he's last day was Tuesday or Wednesday.
Next, Commissioner, need a motion to approve payroll and accounts payable.
Make a motion to approve payroll and accounts payable.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve payroll and accounts payable. All in favor? Aye.
All three signed, please. Three loads up and had a true really work for Keith Lister that night before he gets in his speeches. Gave me a contact and the guy gives a great tour. He did, he picked a handful of them fresh off the tree and gave them to us. He was a hunter too, so him and I talked for an hour about it. And so yeah, it was after it was peaches and cherries.
Cherries too.
It was like stop there.
Oh, yeah.
Got some fresh apricots too.
Oh, yeah.
She'll be canning some apricot, peach jam.
I usually. I usually put some sauce on it.
Okay. Any changes to the minutes, commissioners?
Go and make a motion to approve the minutes as written from the July 24th, 2023 meeting of Riley County Commission.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the July 24th meeting. All in favor? Aye.
No tentative agendas, look, commissioners. Was gonna have Cindy give a plans and look to see how much time he needed on the third, if he needed that 45 minutes, or else we can bump it up a little bit, just avoid such a big gap maybe, so. It's 45 minutes.
Say the next Monday, right? We should read that we added everything's on there.
Just need one more vote, commissioners.
On Mondays, we need to say that to be added. There's only two things on the agenda. I'm guessing it won't be the same.
Probably. Yeah.
Summertime, a lot of people are vacationing.
Well,
and,
it's sweet.
yeah,
That's.
no, yeah, it is.
Slow.
That always happens.
What's the item at 11 o'clock with Vivian and Shiloh? On the October 3rd.
That is. Check. Okay. Any items for next week's press conference?
Nobody else.
Okay, thank you, Minnie. Just let us know. Next we have Mr. Craig talks at 9 o'clock. Thank you, ladies. Morning, how are you?
Unified.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's a long story.
Uh-oh, yeah, that wasn't a no.
Yeah.
It's not another phone, is it?
No, no. That
We'll
was
get together.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
at work.
Yes. Something got over you.
It's not good times right now.
We have a lot of water in the garden this week.
Looking at the radar, it looked like there was a little band of showers coming this way, but
There was one north I-70.
yeah, they all kind of dissipated.
Always does.
No, I guess it's. Yeah. I want to make sure.
Yeah, a couple things. I'm gonna try to miss something with all this scramble for the finance and stuff.
Very good.
Don got the cookies, huh?
Mm-hmm. You know how it works. And if those aren't enough, I get to judge cookies on Sunday too.
What time of day is that?
You would ask that, wouldn't you? I think it's at 1. I have to look at the calendar.
I mean, I might come in a lot. I've never seen any kind of food judging done
Yeah.
before.
It's fun. Have fun with it.
Dave Lewis said he always liked judging the pie.
Yeah, we did that. See, in 19 and 21. Last year it was cinnamon rolls.
Didn't you find out the same thing that he did know? That if you do that and they make the mistake of judging your favorite, it will no longer be your favorite.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hadn't heard that.
It's happened to a couple of commissioners, I think. They come back and said that, at least for the time being, that'd be the last kind of item they wanted to see again for a while. Despite the high quality of the inputs.
High quality. It's not an easy competition, I believe.
That's what they always say.
Yeah, I don't know how you did it. I was about this one.
Oh, that'd be good too. Maybe not so much.
They
the-
take it, they can eat it.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Cookie and sweet, and you know, it's gonna be fun, it's.
I
I think the first year at 19, we had
Take a
something
little
like
bit,
30
even that
pies
adds
or
up.
something. I
Sure,
mean,
it's
yeah.
look at the appearance.
You can't just eat a slice, you know, each one. They don't
I
want
think
that.
that's Commissioner Lewis, David Lewis discovered Nugget Man all excited, apple pie or something, he'd like taking bites of the few when the first ones he learned that was a mistake at the end. If you just want one bite, take it yourself, because at the end, it's a lot.
Mhm. It's inside, so it could be.
It's probably right now 15,000 joining electronic.
Oh, I see, that's true, yeah. I can tell you which ones it. My granddaughter brought some first over last night, so I can tell you which ones.
Little arm twist in there.
It's new meaning to the word fair.
We'll see if Commissioner McKenna gives Commissioner Ford an envelope.
They were good.
Well, I know last year on the cinnamon rolls, it was a 8-year-old girl who actually won.
Beat her mom.
I was gonna
Beat her
say,
mom.
run against her mother, I remember that.
So that would be an interesting discussion at Thanksgiving and who was doing the baking last year.
No one's seen her since.
I wonder how long she had.
Whole bunch of new chores.
Well, I actually had cinnamon because my youngest grandson did cinnamon rolls. I had one this morning.
I like a good cinnamon.
Right now, this weather, nothing really sounds all that good.
Something don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Remember-
Ice cream, maybe some alcohol. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
that'd be
ice
good.
cream. Yeah.
Remember former Commissioner Wells told a great story about judging the furniture, the woodworking between two family members that were,
Oh,
I wish I could remember the details, but it was great.
That one.
'Cause
Yeah.
it almost caused a major problem.
He always does the woodworking.
So I think it was it two sisters that were involved in it or something, or two brothers? I think it was two sisters. You'll have to ask Ron Wells for his story about judging a woodworking competition that he did. Run that by him. That's a good story. Just can't remember the details.
That guy can do some woodworking.
Oh,
That guy's
yeah.
a craftsman.
He's got a portfolio that's worth looking at.
Yeah, we had a little kid's wooden chair that's kind of a keepsake in the family, nothing had any value on. The back came off, but I know I can, so I took it to Ron. And he made it more sturdy than it was, but it wasn't original.
Came back
Used
better.
Brass screws. He is a craftsman.
He's an artist who got wood. No question.
When he got remarried, he moved into his folks' old house there and they redid it. And one of his last projects, did all the kitchen cabinets completely from scratch. Man, they look nice.
Yeah, he took some pictures of it, man. Things
Yeah.
impressive.
Definitely a disappearing part.
Mhm.
Too bad.
Yeah, I mean, he can do the whole thing. He can do the rough carpentry and he can do the finish.
And obviously, the finishing is the tough part of it. So
That really is kind of big.
That's amazing.
The computer's telling me what to do.
30 seconds. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have seconds. I'm taking seconds.
There you go, Clancy.
No.
You found out the secret.
That's right.
The computer will tell him what to do. And he listens to it.
It's very wise.
We just discovered this just before he's about to retire. The timing.
Yeah, that's the part, the voices.
I don't know, Fanny, you remember the old movie, Space, that 2001 Space Odyssey where they had the talking computer? I thought that was, I just thought that was crazy back. I just thought that was crazy.
Yeah, not so much anymore.
Good morning, Commissioners. Craig Cox, Deputy County Councilor. What I have before you today is Mary Carson Bonds Council's resolution to authorize temporary funds for the University Park sewer project to construct a new lagoon. John's here to talk money. If you need to talk money, the amount of money in the bond is $275,000. You have any questions? John, the resolution needs to be passed so John can start getting some work done towards getting that lagoon.
Paying outstanding bills, then.
Yeah, what are the preliminary costs of what engineering reports, that type of thing, or cost
This
estimate?
is for the engineering of it. We've been paying.
Why don't you, John, why don't you come on there?
Yeah, so we're asked for the temporary funding is for the engineering. The design has started back almost a year ago when you gave us approval then, after the EPA consent order. So we've been accumulating some bills that I've paid that need to be reimbursed back into the University Park capital from this, for that project. Basically, that's where we're at. This will pay for engineering, soil testing, and missing something. Shoot.
Geotech?
Yeah, this is sort of test. And get us. Yeah, property, yes, ma'am. If we have to purchase property, yeah, that's where this is gonna go from now and then. Once we get all that approved and done and start the project, we'll go through those steps then.
You have a location?
We have an idea where we want to, we're running into space and the same thing we're running into Keats's. Available property, the
Willing seller.
somebody.
Salaries, yeah.
Evan's been making phone calls to adjacent nearest property owners, the homeowner, for a variance. He's contacted them this week, kind of explaining the situation a little bit more. When we explained it to him, we were off on our distances, so we need to be closer to their home to fit the lagoon where we wanted to put. Or he's working on this week, the rest of this week and maybe early next to call the property and surrounding for other locations.
So you can get variances from the property owners as far as the setbacks go?
Yes, so the KDHE standards are 500 feet from the home to the water edge. We can get a variance as close as 350 feet with the signature of from the landowners.
Okay. But it doesn't take it away totally. You still have to have a setback.
We still have to have room, yes. And then there's 100-foot setback off of property line too, which would help us if we could squeeze that closer to the outside property to get it where we wanted to.
You have any questions? Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Any other comments?
I'll go ahead and make a motion. If the board adopt resolution number 072723, resolution of Riley County, Kansas, authorizing the offering for sale of the county's general obligation temporary notes, the approximate principal amount of $275,000.
A second.
It's been moved and seconded that the board adopt resolution number 072723, authorizing county general obligation temporary notes. For the University Park and Lakeside Heights Sewer District, all in favor? Aye.
Thanks, commissioners. John appreciates it.
All three sign, please.
Oh, I guess I could have just added that $10 onto that too.
We want to add for Dawn. We want to
We'll add it to that one.
Next, we have Mr. Holman at 9:15, commissioners. Keep saying the worst part is worst funding.
Yeah. Well,
That's
September 30th, they have, a proposal in, otherwise we have to review
Application.
evaluations.
yeah,
They qualify, so we've got to.
that's for the
USDA.
USDA, but USDA doesn't have that much money available over the entire state. I think 3 million for the entire state. It was horrible. Everyone saying USDA money, and we just had a meeting with Matt Hansen before I left, and he said, yeah, there's people say USD money, and there's like 3 that. There's a lot of other funds.
How many proposals do they have?
Yeah, that's one of ours.
Yeah.
And that's the small one.
A lot of things are up in the air with funding right now.
The state has had these funds. The state has these funds. So the state's just been dragging their feet on the process. The state has these funds locked up.
It just was out, we have excellent.
They've had it for a year. There's no reason why this process is taking this long.
They just want to work good. Money in the bank.
They do have typically a lot of show things. Yeah, good money.
Did you find any spot in Colorado that you like?
As far as of course, I like the outdoorsy part. I really like the Grand Mesa National Park area. I tell you the drive, that gorge drive from Denver to like Glenwood Springs. It is just so massive, It's like unbelievable.
Did you stop in the canyon?
No, we just drove through there. You know, we went to the monument at Grand Junction and then went to Grand Mesa and did a 7-mile hike there up the mountain, around lakes and stuff. And that was a hotter hike. Then it closer to the Ridgeway, we did it's probably considered moderate, was considered moderate to difficult hike, 7 miles up to Blue Lake. There at 12,500 feet. And that was, no, we acclimated pretty well.
Okay.
Have a headache but yeah, that was a good representation. So pretty up there. So there was 2 more lakes up higher. We went to the lower ones as previous. We liked it, but we had some other things. But like I said, that's, it took us just under 4 hours then back.
Did you go on that $1 million highway?
No, we did not. We wish we'd have done it that
scary.
afternoon. We went to a lake that afternoon. We were going to paddleboard.
Oh, yeah.
But a storm was coming in, so we're sitting there at the lake and waited for that. That took away the afternoon. We were gonna go do that because it was farther, and then we went back the other direction.
Oh, that highway is scary. You guys, it's like this.
We liked yeah.
It's pretty.
My wife doesn't like heights, but she does well.
You wouldn't look at that
She
at all.
does well.
Well, that was really steep. The one going, between Aspen and Linville really is bad too. I mean, you get some of those big trucks on it, it's really scary.
A lot of beautiful.
You have to really watch where you're going.
The country out there is just so
Isn't
massive,
it something?
so massive.
Like see, it's on I-70 went past Denver out there. When we got the bicycle path.
Down in the canyon.
Down
Yeah.
through the fall and
I used to rollerblade on that all the time. I lived
yeah,
there.
we thought, we had 2 of our kids were little, and the other time we were out there, but we thought, go back and bicycle.
Yeah. Neat to have. It's
My brother was just up in But we went, to the South Dakota and over through Rock Warren, Badman, Yellowstone. And then it was so open, they began to see everything. So full of people. They'd get up and said they were sitting there for long and like 5 o'clock and get up. And get out and they'd go out and go out to hike. In the afternoon, the trails were shoulder to shoulder. Sitting full of people. That must have had this big RVs. And RVs said, you know, all the RVs had RVs pulling a Jeep behind it. Kayaks on top and motorcycle on the back of it.
That can't be to me.
What I really like about the Grand Mesa National Forest, or when we're hiking and stuff in that area, it looks like Yellowstone. It looks a lot like Yellowstone, but you don't have the traffic.
People don't realize it's there.
And they're talking little, there's no way up there. You could go up. We went up to it and there was an old couple of us from that area and they were talking to us, but you can go up there and get sunflower seeds. Chipmunks lead out of your hands. You're walking on rock wall. But that's what I was talking to that was a guy, he was there his whole life. I said, yeah, I said, well, I like that. It's like yellow, looks like Yellowstone, but there's no traffic. He goes, shh, yeah, never tell anyone. I said, don't worry. It was pretty. There's so much pretty country out there.
Oh, yeah, it takes a long time. Like I lived there for about a little over 5 years. Matching up pretty well with there were a lot of areas, so just couldn't get to that. Like 5 years.
Yeah, that's impressive. It's huge.
And the Colorado River is up right along the
And
edge.
the river is up and yeah, on that hike out in the Ouray Ridgeway area, we were above snow. I touched snow on the way. I walked off the trail a little bit, grabbed a snowball and gave it to Darnell and kept walking and there was still snow above us, but there's still a lot of snow out there, a lot of snow. No streams are full.
I need to get back up this. When you live there, you realize when you want to go up on the trails and when you don't. It's like we tourists.
It's fall wait till everybody else is at school.
There's a good spots. You don't want to go there in the summertime. There you go. I will.
Where's that?
Disney World.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, or Disneyland. Yeah,
Been to both.
Mickey Mouse.
That's one trip that I was most disappointed on when we went and we took the kids was to Florida. As a kid, I always wanted to go to Florida and we went to several areas. It was nice if I did it, but I just wasn't that impressed with Florida. You know, as a kid, I always thought it'd be great. It was all right, but
Good about Florida's ocean.
yeah, and we went to both sides, you know. So it was neat to see, but
Yeah.
that's something I would have to do again. They could rent a long drive some huge lakes in Colorado.
Mhm.
Huge ones. I couldn't believe it. I've never seen such huge lakes in some of those areas.
Bentley.
There was one, must have been one for 5 miles.
Really deep too.
Mhm. Yeah, the one she was gonna paddleboard on, I talked to the ranger there and he said it was by the dam, 178 feet deep.
Yeah.
By the dam there, and I know there's others that are way deeper than that.
Really so much.
Morning, Commissioners. Clancy Holden, Rather County Councilman. Don't really have much to update you on today. Just tell you that we're continuing to work on multiple projects, continuing the transition from Deputy Counselor Craig Cox's job responsibilities over to Deputy Counselor Woodard. Bringing her up to speed. She's doing well. And she will be in a position to, long before Craig's last day, take on all of those items that he normally would be assigned. So spending some significant amount of time doing that, and making sure that appropriate information is transferred. And spending a lot of time recently addressing calls from within various departments about legal issues. Resolving those to the extent possible, or giving what guidance is available for their decision. And that's about it. Don't have anything else. Unless you have questions.
He put out a list of sales prices on the tax sale. Or is that on somewhere? Just for a couple of them, I was just curious what happened with.
I'll ask them. I don't know if that's something that normally gets churned out there or not. It would be an open record, certainly.
Basically, it's an update.
You're interested in just a breakdown of all the sales?
Yeah, he gives a number of what all the total was, but I just wondered on some of the individual ones for that.
Sure. I'll talk to him. I've got to believe. I will boldly say that's got to be something that can be generated.
Oh, yeah, they got it.
I'm sure they can.
But I
know they have the
something
information.
he usually put out. I don't remember whether it's something he usually
And
put
I
out or
could-
not.
I couldn't tell you. But I definitely will find out for you. And get you an answer. And then, that's all I have unless you have something back.
Commissioners, next you have Mr. Corey Meyer, 935.
I'm like time for a cookie break.
I'm not sure if John's gonna share or not.
Oh, yeah.
You'd
It's
think.
sitting right in front of me. Yeah, it's time to break this up. Chocolate chip and sugar on top, and some kind of a swirl thing there. Okay. Cinnamon roll cookie. Look at that.
That's kind of cool. Swirl.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. What a goodness.
Is it good?
Mhm.
No, it's chocolate.
Remember, no free cash judgment. They're all
If I see these, I gotta.
kind of easy to tell, huh? That kind of looks like
It's just-
Christmas cookies.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, I bet you heard the news earlier in the week, or maybe you haven't yet. Roger Singh passed away.
Yeah.
Did
Visit.
received an email from the staff member, Jacob, that does our work, and Butter's a good guy, so always come in and talk with me, known him for years.
Mm.
And also another gentleman too, last, I guess, full-term sheriff here.
Tuba,
Yes,
Officer Tuba. Jim.
yes, I'm thinking James, but you're right, Jim.
At K-State. Police when I was in school.
He was technically the second to last sheriff, but I think sheriff that helped with consolidation didn't fill out an entire term, so he's been the last term sheriff. Riley County.
That guy was.
Yeah,
How much time? Before I was here.
before my time, period.
Would have been a good person to talk to about. Okay, what is the intent on all this?
I don't know what the intent was, 45 years ago, but it was 45 something years ago. We couldn't foresee everything would be, we can't look at it now and know what it's going to be like in 50 years,
Maybe 10.
Maybe.
Things change so quickly.
But when's the official Colorado's coming and when do they start?
Sometime this morning.
No, this afternoon.
Is it this afternoon?
I thought it was this morning, except on the radio, they were saying that the official meeting was this afternoon.
Oh, okay.
Amy was saying
4 o'clock, I think.
that at 4 o'clock our time, they said that when the game starts is when their meeting is supposed to, the public
So when
meeting.
year are they planning on starting next year?
24. And this is because the Pac-12 has no TV or media deal in place
Yeah.
at all.
After this year, they don't have any.
Uh-huh.
Probably Nebraska will probably be next.
Will there be other-
No.
Nebraska.
No.
That way for the Big Ten or.
I mean, dollar for dollar at this point, probably the Big Ten, if you're a Big Ten school, you're getting probably the best per dollar, payout.
Really?
But leads me to believe there's got to be another school on the horizon, and you wonder who that's going to be.
Yeah, that's they're talking
Yeah.
about, they're gonna go basketball after Gonzaga or UConn.
I keep hearing UConn.
There's
I keep hearing-
more than Colorado and the Pac-10 that are gonna be coming.
Colorado official leagues, it's gonna keep moving. Well, the rumors last night were that Oregon might be, before they always thought it was gonna be one of the 4 corners.
Arizona State and
And Utah.
Yeah.
Utah.
And, but now there's last night, there was word Oregon might be doing it. Because now the Big Ten isn't looking at Oregon. They're looking more towards Stanford and Cal, which doesn't make sense. But
Gonna be interesting, Chief.
You're going to end up with like 3 super conferences, maybe 4.
So it's Wayne Anderson, it's the one after 2 blocks. Would have been when the consolidation happened.
Yeah, Anderson, I recognize that name.
Yeah. Other interesting thing on the sports front, there's 2 separate pieces of legislation in the Senate dealing with name and likeness.
Yeah, that's all we need is for the feds to get involved.
I know.
Name and what likeness?
That NIL stuff, the money to get them up.
Putting some regulations behind that, so it protects the student athlete. That's so it said.
Like I said, it's all.
Senator Moran's actually involved in one of them.
That's all we need is the federal government to get involved in college sports.
Well, the problem with it is the NCAA for the last 2 years have sat on their hands
That's
on
the
it.
problem. No
So,
leadership.
right. So if they would have set out some kind of a foundation, I think it would have been okay. But basically they punted it and,
Yeah, they kept.
and finally now Congress is going to act on it.
Curious how Dion's first season's gonna go.
I don't give him, I don't know. I don't think
I
it's
don't
going to go well, but I think on the horizon it will. I could see him going like 4-8, 5-7 or something. I mean, it's just too much.
That'd be a huge success.
It would be.
I mean, Coach Snyder would have told you, when he won 1 game, said that's first step, I was,
But we had a lot more issues at that time than
no, trust me, I was here.
Yeah.
No, that was too. So Colorado's got the things in place. They just didn't, for whatever reason, just didn't have a good team, They have the ability to recruit. They've got the facilities. They obviously got a coach. So I think it'll take a year or two to put it together.
I'm so curious to see Tank's number 2 here. And they locked him up into a long-term contract. Huh?
You haven't heard any details on it, but it's, it's there.
I read some numbers on it. While I was away, I'm probably what I got.
I didn't see anything in it. Well, I've got a new retirement plan.
Can I get in on it?
Yeah, actually, you could. It kind of fills a lifelong dream of mine too.
What's that?
I'm going to be a part owner of Major League Baseball franchise,
Okay.
So,
Which one?
the Atlanta Braves.
Oh, really?
Mhm. Company that Ted Turner sold the team to in 2007 is getting out of it, and they're investing all their money in the redevelopment, economic redevelopment around the new stadium there in North Cobb County. So the Atlanta Braves are going to be the second sports franchise to be publicly traded now.
oh, they are.
Yeah. So I'm gonna buy me some shares.
Good luck with that.
No, you can do it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the ongoing price is yet, but I haven't actually officially traded yet. I would guess it's probably at least a couple $100 a piece, probably.
Green Bay one.
Mhm. Yeah.
Anything to them up there. That's.
I keep buying those up as they're available. And then I could majority ownership, minority ownership, keep working it. I got a hell of a team at the moment. They've got all their stars locked down for foreseeable future, 5 to 8 years. Baseball kind of works funny like that. They don't pay you your value when you're actually valuable. You get your value after the fact. And I don't know if that's really beneficial to anybody, but I'm like, if you hit 45 home runs and drive in 140 runs, you should get paid that amount then instead of, what this veterans thing that they do.
Well,
And then when you bat 230, you're making $24 million,
football's got. See, that's what Chiefs have unloaded some
Yeah.
hot price guys getting late. Years you're going you're not going to be. Just, it's a national thing. Something less than defensive back. Had all these great years. Chiefs trading it. Why they trading it out? They haven't got anything since.
Yes.
It's the lifespan of those guys.
That's the same thing with Tyrann Mathieu. I think he's with the Saints now, but same thing going on with running backs right now. They're crying that they're terribly undervalued, and the shelf life's about 6 to 8 years.
That would take a beating.
I really do.
I thought I had one spot. Like, I couldn't say it was, but it's just a little dot now. Yesterday, couldn't stop.
Well, I figured if it was going to show up, it was.
I went home and script that Technu, Technu is a soap that's made with that Euretia oil, whatever that oil is. It's something, it's got some grit in it and stuff. And I
really?
Scrubbed my hands and legs.
I went home and immediately took a very soapy bath too.
And I threw all my clothes into the washer.
Yeah.
It was thick with poison.
But not, of course, out of under, we got it all over to my wife, but for years, she'd get poison ivy on her legs, and she couldn't figure out how, because she's not like me. She's not gonna go out walking in the woods or walking in the fields. We come to find out, finally figured it out. It's when our Labradors go out in the trees, they bring it back and they brush up against her with their tail. It was always right about that height, and that's what it was from the oils on their tails and fur rushing up against her because she thought it was flying from the mower or something, you know. Dogs. How's Corey? Doing all right. Yourself? Good.
But she gets she gets it, she can't get it. I used to get a
Yeah.
cortisone.
Yeah.
Put it in your chest with a shot.
Yes. I think the last time I did that's,
Still.
I'll give it stay for months. It doesn't get really itchy, doesn't get, I'm not allergic, it just, you can get rid of it. Yeah.
I was hoping the guy.
Nothing else works, and then the doctors know that now, so then she called, you know, and she.
Gets in and gets
She's,
out.
yeah.
They make the shots.
Well, let's try this, try that.
Yeah.
We tried it.
Yeah.
And.
I think they used to do
I'm
it.
on patrol, I can, she's getting better at it, but mainly it's around the edge of the guard. So I gotta go around, trim it out, look back and I'm.
Too, there's not much that just absolutely kills it. Mineral dead.
Roundup will, you know, there's Roundup poison, I
Yeah.
know it's higher strength. And if you can catch it.
Yeah.
If you get someone.
It's a hardy, thick stalk, you know, you can willow it, but you just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, when I was a little kid, of course, I've always been an outdoors person, you know, following my dad around from
Yeah.
young ages. I got poison ivy really bad.
I inhaled it one year.
Horrible. My dad had
I had a daughter.
My dad had a friend that almost died from that. Got
Yeah.
his throat so bad, was in the hospital, but got it so bad. And then when I was like in middle school, because I was always hunting or fishing or whatever and getting it, they had some shots you could get. And for 2 years, I got the shots, and that stuff was like syrup. I mean, it went in hard. And it was horrible, but it worked. So but I figured the third year I couldn't get it. They wouldn't allow it. I figured they discovered it caused cancer probably, so they no longer allowed it. But since that time, I hardly ever get poison ivy. Mhm.
I didn't, my brother, we both got, he'd come home with it, and I didn't get it, and then one summer. I got mono. And then I got better, went out first day after I was surveying that summer. And then got into some of it, and I don't know if mono broke down my thing. I came home the next day, I had it head to toe all over. I mean, it was, I had.
And like my dad, you know, because I was following him, he could like roll in it and not get it. My dad never got poison ivy.
I think, you know, up until I was about 11, 12, I don't think it really affected me too, but I got it the 1 year, and then but that same year is the year I inhaled it. I've never been allergic to it necessarily, and it's never been overly itchy or anything, but when I get it, I just, you know, I don't get rid of it. It stays.
I got a bunch of it out in my backyard down by the creek. And a friend came over and she was gonna help me, you know, trim everything. She had shorts on. I don't wear shorts, you know. Oh, I'll be fine. Well, she got poison ivy. Went in and went and it got so bad she had to go to the emergency room. And they gave her an antibiotic, and then she was allergic to it, and it went all over her whole body. She says, "I'm not doing this anymore for you." I told her to wear long pants. And
I figured in the case of Monday, it just would have been on my
Yeah.
arms. That would have been
Yeah.
manageable, but I had a pretty high boot on.
Yeah.
That sticker line around it
I
too.
got stickers all over here.
I had my boot off. There's this little,
Those little sticker things.
yeah.
They go around.
I looked at that and chuckled. I thought that's kind of funny. It'd stick to the boots, but always stick to the top of the socks.
Yeah, I had them all over the socks and boots and shoes and everything.
No, that was quite a hike.
It was.
No, I really wanted to be on that.
It was really
But
pretty.
I wanted to, because I was hoping to get to actually meet the Alaska guy, so.
Yeah, you would have been bummed out.
No, it was a reasonable discussion. It was.
It was. We weren't fighting.
Yeah, that was my concern.
I'd say, you know,
But you know,
for a younger guy, the attorney put in the time on the research on that for sure.
It was
It's not
citing
a-
the statutes and all that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is probably a fun one to have to
he's sensitive about, he's done some
Yeah,
other
No, really?
cases like that, and so he really had to.
Well, that helps.
Yeah. Yeah, he's talking about fencing.
The thing is,
versus
that'll
fence out.
help educate the other side, his side, but
Yeah.
okay, I've been down this road before, they're not making things up.
Yeah.
it was a reasonable discussion amongst.
That was.
I thought. And I wasn't going into it with that thought in mind. So.
Yeah.
Wasn't expect, no.
Okay, it's 9:35.
Good morning, Commission. Corey Meyer, GIS Director here for staff update, and then a couple of purchases for approval. Start with the staff updates. Well, first thing, as far as staff goes, fully staffed now for several months and working well. John, our newest employee, has hit the ground running for us, doing really well. Loves personality and stuff, but his tech knowledge that he brings is exactly what we were looking for, and has fit with our team very well, which is one of the most important things for us. And I'm already beginning to assign projects to him where he take lead on, and then us assist. So he's done really well. So we're really happy with that. Of course, Derek, Chris, and Travis, my other staff there on the IT side, are just doing exemplary as always. And so I always like to give a shout out to them and appreciation there. And our GIS staff, Jake and Will and Sherry, top notch. They've been quite busy here as of late. Could start with some of their work. Actually, they've been doing a lot of work at the appraiser's office. They've been working on a parcel value analysis tool. They've been working on some new maps and some new analysis that they can do as far as the buildings and things go. And I always like to think with weeks like this where it's blazing hot, I love the fact that our imagery is good and our maps are good, and hopefully the appraiser staff can stay out of the field as much as possible when we have these days like this. They did Sherry and Jake just went to the Esri conference out in California, and they brought back a lot of information, contacts from there, and some new ideas and some things that they want to do and work with. And they had a good collaboration with other counties. They found a lot of Kansas counties that were out there as well as far as GIS departments go. So they haven't had a chance to give me a full write-up and debrief on it yet, as it was just last week. So, but I'm looking forward to hearing that. Over on the IT side, we got really busy here in the last couple of weeks. Busier, I guess you could say, but I am happy to report we have received our final bill from Cox. I've reported to you for a while now that we are going through a transition. So that final Cox bill of $6,000 a month is this month, actually the 31st. And then we just got notice from WTC, who we switched to, that we got a reduction in our bill, which was nice. So we're going from $6,000 a month to $1,300 a month. So, yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah, it tells you how the way the world works out there in some cases. But so we're really happy with that, and we've had no issues whatsoever with WTC. They've been very responsive whenever we need something from them. So we're real happy there. Some of the normal of every month, helping over here in the meetings, the things that we do for the appraiser's office, their SVQ, their deed transfers, activations, deactivations. But one of the big ones that's come up here as of late has been our Windows 11 compatibility check. Give a little info on that. October 2025, Microsoft will stop support of Windows 10, and they recently, and we thought we were in a good position, and then they recently updated their hardware compatibility. And so now we have to go through and check all of our hardware again to make sure that the new hardware, the list that they put out is compatible in regards to our equipment. Desktops, we're not concerned. It's the area of laptops where we use them for an extended period of time. And I can tell you at this point, of our 220 laptops, we have checked roughly 2/3 of them, and we're at 35 that are not going to be compatible with Windows 11. So we'll put together a plan and a process for replacement and what we'll go through. And technically we have what would be 3 years
of my budget to do that. I didn't purchase any laptops this year. We knew that a laptop replacement was coming because we knew that a lot of them were older anyway. So I did increase that in my budget from what was 10,000 to 15,000 coming in 24. So we kind of saw it, but we didn't see that Microsoft would update, and in their compatibility list, it did start to eliminate a few more of our laptops out of there that we weren't expecting, but we'll get through it. But it is just something that'll be reporting on. That's kind of why the email that I sent out was maybe a little bit pushy, a little bit demanding on get this equipment in. We need to get it checked over so that we can get our plan put in place. But so we will begin this year as our PC replacement goes, that we will start moving to Windows 11. In analysis of our machines and what will be replaced and looking at our rotation, with Rich present, you will now find out that our first round of department will probably be the clerk's office.
Already saw that.
Huh?
Already saw that.
Okay. And that decision will come based on next year's election cycle of 3 elections. I want to get the machines in, put them in place, work through what there might need to be done, so that next year will run smooth and we won't have any type of replacement to work with. We've actually already built 5 machines up in our office. We've restored images from 5 of Rich's machines in there from his office on there, upgraded them to Windows 11. I'll now be reaching out to his department and asking staff to come up, sign in, and go through everything from Elvis, Wildlife and Parks, all the various applications so we can run through it, get those pieces and parts ironed out this year, and then we'll have a successful, smooth year next year, because they'll all be quite busy down there.
Is that what you guys did to mine on Monday too?
We did.
Okay.
We didn't upgrade it, but we went through the checks.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
And Elvis is the election system.
yeah.
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 Secretary of State Ron Thornburg implemented that. I was on one of the committees at the state appointed by him to develop all of those. He was a huge Elvis Presley fan, and an acronym actually fits with elections.
Verification. I've heard the name. I've heard the full
Election
verification.
Huge Elvis fan.
Yeah.
Something systems or something.
Yeah, dude, quite a personality.
Yeah. We have a storage upgrade. I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. It's one of the purchases that I have to talk about. We are continuing to work on what will be our phone paging system. A little bit of some of these projects countywide, I will say, have kind of slowed in what we're doing countywide as our work has had to increase. As Dave Adams' name always gets brought up with EMS and the various buildings that he's got going on, and making sure that we keep up our part and meet our deadlines for the IT needs for the EMS buildings. It's a fun project. I'll be honest. I'm working on those and coordinating. I mean, it's nice to shift gears at times and get to work on brand new and fresh and have an implementation and planning that will, be clean and the way you like it from the start. So we're enjoying that, but it is work. I saw Commissioner McKinley yesterday when I went up to Leonardville. I didn't get a call back for a few days, and I'm going to go spot check this over lunch and see where it's at, so that we know when we're ready to pull cable and do our part up there. So, but it was hot up there. There's no wind that moved through there. That was in a hole. Budgets look good. No issues there. Everything's coming in just as we had planned as far as our increases and so forth. In fact, I'll be reporting here in a little bit when I go through our approval for PCs that we're getting some good numbers on things, which is nice. So I think we're seeing an improvement in some areas, I will say, in some areas. But I think a little bit of extra work, fine tuning some of the pieces that we're buying, waiting to hit the markets at the right time is what's helping us, finding out when when Cisco's end of year is, when Dell's end of year is, because boy, they'll really like to give you a price breaks when they're in their end of the year month because they want to bump that sales number. Yeah. So I've done some work in figuring out when some of those are, which seems to help. And so I will keep those in mind.
Vehicles and equipment.
Yeah. But then on to, the EMS headquarters, working there, the meetings that we all have. As far as IT goes and our current status on that, we completed our analysis where all the conduit will be going. We'll be meeting with, I have their name that was sent to me, but I scheduled a meeting with them and go over where we'll be conduits and those kind of things we'll go forward with. And then met and had a meeting with the station paging company. And that's part of a system that the city is currently implementing in the fire departments and where we have EMS, and then met to go over how station paging will tie into the building. Very cool product, actually. Then Leonardville, I just mentioned, up there, we're just waiting on the conduits to get done and our timing to go in and pull cable and get the doors prepped and so forth for the fob system, the badging system. Adabus building remodel that we are assisting with is moving forward, just helping them so that they purchase all of their equipment and everything themselves out of their budget, but we support and help them as they're on our network and so forth. It's a good relationship. We really appreciate Adabus staff. They're quiet as can be out there. Honestly, they don't call too often, but they do a lot of work, keeping their schedules going and everything. And so we're working, assisting them in what equipment needs they have and so forth, or what their equipment needs are as their remodel goes. They're adding 3 offices and adding additional security in areas of cameras and so forth to protect their assets out there in those buses. Working well there. We have finished the Office 365 migration. Adabus actually was the last one. They were moving all of their email accounts from Riley County accounts to what are FHATA or FHATA. It's the Flint Hills Area Transportation. They were moving them to their domains so that they were not using the Riley County email and then their website being. So we've been working with their vendor to migrate those across. We've been doing some courtroom audiovisual updates as far as the AV goes, new screens, TV replacements, sound upgrades. We're working in there and throughout all of the courtrooms. We'll also be doing some things in the hallways with their dockets as far as scrolling displays so that when people come in, they can be watching those dockets and seeing when they're what courtroom they need to go to. We're moving forward in preparing what would be an upgrade into this room, replacing this screen and the projector, looking to go a TV direction instead of the noisy projector and its cost and the screen. Just working through screen or TV sizes and so forth, where the cabling runs, things would go. But we can do that as a quick change in here versus if we want to do something more extensive, move the room, change the room around, whatever ideas there might be, that would be a discussion for maybe a little bit of a work session time and how you might like things. But you could hear the noise of the projector. It's not actually the bulbs or anything, it is the fans. So it's hitting its age mark where we need to do something. I'd rather put money towards a nice, crisp, clear picture of a TV versus this projector is actually about $5,000 projector. So I can do a lot more with that.
One other thing, is it possible while we're doing this upgrade to do something with all the corded stuff in here and
Yes.
clear it up and streamline it? And
Yeah. So we're looking at some different type mics that would come up. They'll lay flatter, lower profile. So there's less things up in your face and so forth. So we're studying different mics that can be used and so forth. So figure we're going to start. We need to start and we need to do it right and a refresh. So yeah, we've got all of those things that we're looking at, but quickly what we might do is get this screen and this replaced. and then look at what's the right. I'm even looking at the options of, there wouldn't be mics here at all. And they make what's called a mic array that goes up the ceiling. Actually, it would be like one of the tiles would be replaced. The microphones would be up there in the ceiling and the sound would be caught. And we would do one back here for the gallery and we could do one over here. So we're looking at some different various options of what we do in here to maybe modernize and update what we do. Yes.
Yeah, I have a question. Are there any types of lighting that are more conducive to screen reading and, TV? I find that they're very harsh when I look at the computer and they're very, I didn't know I know these are regular fluorescents, but there are
Is
other
that
kinds of
IT or is
lighting.
that more of a?
Well, so the fluorescents like these, they give off, what do you want to say, that orangish kind of a, if you were to move to an LED, which has been done in areas of some of the buildings and so forth, if you move to the LED light, it's more of a white light, and it actually, you do see your screens better off of that. It does make a difference. It would make a difference down here as the screen as well if you had more of that white light versus this orange or tan or hazy light, whatever.
That's just a bulb change, though, is it? Maybe a balance.
I think you have to change the ballot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
And if we could do like a different color rendition, that would be more conducive to.
I would imagine, and it's just me from seeing where we've done things before, you probably have half the number of lights in here going to LED as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's it really makes a difference. So
Maybe the last beat.
starting to run. Yeah, sorry, I'm rambling here.
Yeah, we are ready.
I apologize. So lastly, we finished the Wi-Fi installation in the ambulances, and then we did a internet change out at WIC out at Fort Riley, upgraded their internet and so forth out there. And we moved that from $140 a month service to $40 a month service for 3 times the speed. So sorry about that for rambling on there and so forth. But the other 2 pieces I got are 2 purchases, both budgeted out of my budget. But being over 20,000, I'll bring forward to you. The first is 40 desktop purchases with Windows 11. When I submitted this in, the price that it said was $36,722. I worked and pushed and squeezed a little bit and actually got the price down to $34,160. So the correct Dell quote got put in here, which reflects the new price. Nothing for you to sign or anything, but it's just to bring forward, and on there I've got the quote on my desk, and then we would move forward with that purchase. Annually, every year we purchase 40 to 45 PCs, so you've probably heard us many times come in before. The second is our storage replacement. This is the bigger one. Our storage we've had going on 7 years now. Back in 2017, we moved forward purchasing what was called Nimble. It was just Nimble at that time. It's been bought out by HP 2 years ago. If you read through there in the packet as our data has gone, we actually only had 10 terabytes of data in 2017. When we purchased the first Nimble, we purchased it with 21 terabytes. In 2020, we had to add an expansion unit of another 24 terabytes, taking us up to 45. And you can see that currently we're using 92% of that 45 terabyte, or almost 42 terabytes of it. So you can see that our growth has gone from 10 terabytes of use to what is actually 66 terabytes. The system we have now in its compression brings it down from that 66 to 41. So that's a little bit of a snapshot of data growth of Riley County in 7 years. It's gone from 10 terabytes to 66 terabytes of data. So that's from
What a terabyte is.
so
That's true.
Yeah.
Number I can't even imagine.
We get deep into that, but a Word file might be about 5 kilobytes, and then you get 1,000 kilobytes to a meg, and then 1,000 megabytes to a gig, and then 1,000 gig to a terabyte. So we're
I
talking
didn't know, I knew it was.
massive.
Yeah,
Yes,
massive.
yes, yes.
Mm.
This was budgeted in my budget. There was a line in there for $80,000. Nimble, when it was bought out by HP, they changed their name to Electra as far as the device. And so this device purchase comes in at $75,350.83, and I had budgeted $80,000 in there. And so I'm asking for your approval to move forward with both purchases, the Dell PCs at $34,160 and the HPE Electra for $75,350.83. That does come with services, installation. It comes with 3 years of support, and it is our preferred product to work with. Next to our security, this would be our most valuable and protected device we have in the entire county. So ask for your approval on that.
Do we need to do these separately?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But on the first one, you've got 2 different numbers. You've got 40 desktops, but on the recommendation, it says 52.
So we usually replace between 40 and 50 a year.
Oh, okay.
I went with 40 at this time. If we need to purchase more at the end of the year, then we might. But right now I purchased 40 for replacement in the clerk's office and then one other department. And then we'll see where we stand at the end of the year. But the dollar amount in your motion would be the $34,160
For
on
40.
on that page there.
Okay.
So
I just wanted to be clear for the motion purposes. Okay. I'll make a motion then to allow IT and GIS to proceed with the purchase of 40 desktop machines for the price of $34,160.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the purchase of 40 desktops for a cost of $34,160. All in favor?
Okay.
thank you. And then that second one would, we're asking for approval to move forward with the HPE Electra storage device. And that is $75,350.83.
Go ahead and make a motion to approve the purchase price for the HPE Electra device at $75,350.89. 83.
And I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the purchase of the HPE Electra devices for $75,350.83. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Brittany. I'm getting purchase authorization for both those.
Yeah.
On the business meeting. Thank you. Next commissioners were passed on Shelley.
Good morning. And skip straight to the business or I can give you our monthly update. If you have any questions on anything in the packet, I'd be more than happy to address that. The 2 things that I just want to highlight for you. We had 6 team members attend the National Association of Drug Court Professionals Conference in Houston in the end of June. And at the end of your packet, there are 3 pages of takeaways that 3 of the participants summarized. And they were super helpful to the team and I thought very spot on for where we are in our process with our drug courts. So far, we have had 22, currently we have 22, 3 graduates and only 1 revocation in a year and 3 months. So pretty exciting to see those results. I have been working with our association as well as the Community Corrections Advisory Committee to have branding as well as information sheets that we can provide to our legislators. And we are looking to send these out in August so they kind of know the state of community corrections and we can continue on that journey to try and be fully funded at exactly where we should be funded. And so we've been working really hard over the summer to come up with these nice branding documents, if you will. These are in draft form, but I was given permission by my peers to go ahead and share those to you folks. We also put in a frequently asked questions, and that will go out as well with those branding items. Not in your packet, but something I wanted to highlight. Susie Swanson, who is a retired school social worker from the Clay Center Riley Randolph Co-op and former House of Representatives. Today is her last Joint Corrections Advisory Committee meeting, and she has been on our advisory board for 25 years. Certainly the longest standing advisory board member, at least in our time. We cannot thank her enough, and we will be recognizing her at our board meeting at 12 o'clock. So we are just excited that for the time that she has given to us. The official business that we need to catch you up to your timeframes is line item adjustments. Our fiscal year ended June 30th. I have to say we have not missed our line items more than we have this year. There's lots of things probably that can contribute to that. One being a new tracking system that the state put in with little to no training that we are now keeping our expenses on. And so the newness of it and the lack of training just really threw us off as far as the line items this year for our DOC funds. The money is in there, it's just in the wrong line items. And so we are requesting, as you know, if it's more than 10%, 1% of the budget or more than 5,000, we need your permission to move monies amongst line items. And the aggregate for those line item adjustments was $13,120.21. And that is, I believe, on the last packet or page 38 of your packet. That is really quick, but hopefully got you back on time.
Yeah, it happens every year around this time. Yeah, definitely larger than normal. Last year it was two of them were 6 and 5.
I was going to say 5 or 6 is the norm. Yeah. Good memory.
Okay. Was it? Okay, 1 second. Juvenile service. Okay. I'm tracking. Okay. I don't have it. It's fine. Nobody has any questions? Okay. I'll go ahead and make a motion to approve the line item transfers to be able to cover payroll and agency operation line items for the fiscal year 23.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to approve line item transfers. All in favor?
Thank you. And since we don't meet till noon, I'm going to have Linda, our chair, come down after their meeting to sign them.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay,
Shelley,
thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you.
Next commissioners, yeah, being Lima at 10:05. How's David?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm good.
Good time away?
Yeah.
So he goes through the mountain of stuff that he has on his desk throughout the day.
That's why I was here at before 6:30 this morning.
He's taking vacation these days. It's
the way it was at home and at work, it's just back files on you.
I heard about the cookies, but I was listening to the meeting, not watching. I was surprised to see Garfield sit on the desk and write those in.
4-H. They do that every year.
Every year we get Garfield. That's really cool.
Somehow he makes it back. That part I haven't figured out yet.
That might be the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, the box with the wrappers are.
Oh, is that what that was? Oh,
I'm
okay.
guessing that's what that was. That's the.
Feel free to take one
Well, they are, but I got trouble.
if you wasn't hitting around about that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm not above fishing for cookies. I'll probably have-
Digging for the right one. Just don't take the one I want.
So which one are you making?
I don't know.
I was
No,
gonna
I'm
say,
kidding
take
you.
yours first.
No.
I was just trying to see what was all in
Yeah,
there.
that's what I do. Shake it around that way.
That one looks good. I know. Like I said,
What
I'm
one do you
good.
want, David?
Cookies on
That's the one I'm gonna
Sunday.
take. That's the one I'm gonna take.
Peanut butter.
That's
Thank you.
I got here.
Why not digging?
Thanks for
I
that.
had that one before.
I don't know, it's gonna be hard for you to judge these.
Yeah. For cookies, I may just have to go a second round and really
Yeah.
evaluate the process thoroughly.
I don't know that I could handle through a whole competition eating a full cookie though.
Oh. Might have to, depending. Cookies are easier to do than pie.
Strawberry. That's what the pink ones.
I think it's chocolate chip, the chocolate chip extra.
We need to just convince them to bring a gallon of milk.
Yeah.
Well, I know for a fact that they have a couple of tubs of Call Hall ice cream back there, so that might be the extra ask.
Went over at the fairgrounds.
Mhm.
Very nice. Well, good morning, Commissioners. Vivian Leva with my monthly communications update, staff update of one. We're already almost at the end of July. Schools are starting back up. K-State students will be coming back soon. I'm just here to give you a brief update about initiatives carried out by our staff. So we have been, of course, actively engaged with the media, as always, through 6 news releases and several interviews and public appearances. The coverage highlighted, let's see, we talked about the Flint Hills Wellness Coalition's neighborhood conditions survey. I know WRW came out yesterday in the heat and interviewed some people as they were visiting the neighborhoods. We talked about the comprehensive plan survey and launch. I don't have the latest numbers about how many people have participated, but we're going to continue to push that out. The deadline is September 15th. So hopefully we'll get a lot of submissions for that. Organizing the comments is going to prove to be difficult, but we will figure that part out. Several health department events, the new budget and finance officer, and then a structure fire early in the month in the north part of the county, kind of the biggest news events this month. Yeah, it was already, we're still in the month where 4th of July happened.
That was because of fireworks stored in the garage.
Unfortunately, yes. And then, as you well know, budget season is upon us. Everybody has been busy with that. And we do a lot here to ensure transparency and clarity and get information to the public. The R&R notices are going to be going out soon. We hope people tune in, and on YouTube, you can rewind and make sure you heard things correctly. We publish all of our information online. And I have started giving regular updates to staff. So there's folks who not everybody can watch the meetings during the day and they kind of lose track. So my philosophy right now is to try and make sure staff understand the budget. It's certainly very complex. So I'm going to start, last week I started sending updates about commission decisions, and I'm going to be hopefully doing that every week. And I
was just going to say, I appreciate your transparency. I just wish other entities took the same route. But
Yes, and that's some of that prompting, we don't have control over what is printed. We can certainly try to educate and say, the numbers that you have shared with the community are wrong, and we have no power to make them correct those numbers. So that's part of why this position exists, to try and make sure the public has access to the correct information. To that end, I wanted to kind of bring up a little bit later, but this is a good segue that, traditional media is changing, social media is changing. I don't know if you've seen the new Twitter is now X, and things are kind of falling off the rails over there. We've seen a little bit of a decline in our followers, not dramatic.
you're ahead of the X.
Looked at it.
No, and it's just getting weirder, I'm afraid. So there are other platforms to sign up for, and I don't think it's just me, but we have all of these different methods to communicate on the mass scale. I'm making more time to communicate on personal scale to smaller groups. So the health department had 45 people at the most recent rescreening. They had discussion with community members. It made a big impact on all the people that were there. Yesterday, I went with Doug and John from Riley County Fire Department, Fire District 1. They gave a presentation to the lunchtime optimist group. People who weren't necessarily aware that the volunteer fire department even existed, and certainly didn't know the details about the work that they do. Anna Burson had the presentation at InterGov explaining the property valuation process, which was eye-opening to some of the people there. And I've talked to the chamber. We're going to schedule Anna during one of the chamber breakfasts later this year when there's an opening. So it's more demanding of time, but the quality of the interaction and the chance people get to ask questions and get them answered. I'm not giving up on mass communication. Certainly there's a balance to be struck. We can't spend all of our days doing community presentations, but I think as things change so quickly and people have their individual ways that they want to be notified of things, and news media is struggling to keep reporters and advertising, and things are changing there. The more we can do to just give the public direct access to what we're doing and the accurate information, I think that's going to be time well spent. Okay. What else here? Safety and preparedness are really kind of always going to be at the top of my priority list. I've been sharing information through all of our social media channels this week about heat safety and trying to get that message out there. Website, that's the regular stuff. I also recently participated in an active violence response training, and yesterday Marie Harrison with Riley County Emergency Management led the after action meeting with leaders about the tabletop portion of that exercise. So we are already in discussion and planning for next year's training exercise. Might be able to partner with another agency, get some grant funding, hire a company to come in and do a full functional exercise for folks. We're also looking at ways to provide backup communications in emergency situations. Last year, during that June tornado, I was out of town, but Aaron Wintermote with RCPD, he's familiar with the EOC, he stepped in and he provided real-time updates to the public through Everbridge and then through the police department's channels. We're looking at ways, and it's certainly just in discussion right now. We don't know what the solution will be, but to be able to provide backup if he was out of town and there was, police related matters, that's something I could help with. Is there somebody else who could help? Trying to program in some redundancy for this position, recognizing most organizations just have one person and it's difficult to kind of build backup plans when there's just one, so we're going to have to cooperate on figuring out the best ways to do that. Josh was the guest this month on KSNT. He talked about the active violence exercise, heat safety, and the new station in Leonardville. He did a wonderful job. I think he's willing to do it again, so we'll make sure he's part of the regular rotation to share information, but that's another good opportunity for, there's a time investment involved. We have to drive there early in the morning, but we get it. 5 to 10 minutes of airtime to talk about what's important to us. So that's been, I hope, a good investment too.
Better to put Josh on there than David.
Absolutely. I was saying, you were sitting right there, but there. Yep. Do you have any questions or suggestions? You can email me certainly if you think of things. Video is something that I'm trying to do more of. Riley County Fire in particular, we're doing profiles of members. So I posted the first video yesterday or the day before yesterday, trying to post a second one on Friday, just to say, hey, we are regular people of all different varieties and backgrounds and skill levels. And this is the way that I give back to the community. So to encourage other people to join. That's it.
Just Vivian saw me thinking as she was talking, but I just think, there was a lot of discussion before we started this position at Riley County. He was one of the instigators, if you can imagine that. And it was me and Julie, and that was my question is to, okay, tell me how we're going to use it after the pandemic for those. And us as department heads don't have time to do the things she's doing. We run our departments, and I kind of wonder nowadays how we did without it for so long. I just think the position is a great asset for the county overall and the constituents. I hate ever increasing taxes, and it is additional taxes for an additional position. But as you see our frustrations with getting the correct information to the public, that's what I tell Vivian, we need to be proactive, get out ahead of things. And so that's what we talk about frequently. And she has a great passion for it and does a great job.
And I appreciate that that's the attitude of the county, that we want to get ahead of things. We don't want to wait for rumors to start and try to catch up. We are here to tell you what the government is up to. And I appreciate all the effort and energy that you've all put into that.
That's an endless job, so it's great that you're here.
It's, the term indispensable is thrown around, but
Really,
I enjoy it, and I really thank you for the opportunity.
thank you.
Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you.
Next commissioner, you have David Adams at 10:20.
I'd love to be able to do something.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't even make sense.
And there's something else. At the end of their talk about something else. Maybe it's the time for. I sent corrected a couple of times doing.
That's very, very. But that's the kind of thing that's important.
I'd say this, it wasn't, it didn't hurt anything, but it just was, it wasn't hurting.
It does.
Just completely wrong.
Because then we start getting called.
Right. And I can understand trying to find good quality people and trying to figure out how to make all of that work. Sometimes that being present when there's technological capabilities and stuff, I get that.
Mhm.
But, when you're talking about a budget, or you're talking about something big, if you're wanting to report on it, you should probably be there for those and report appropriately. And then maybe some of the other stuff isn't so important, but you're not willing to do that, but maybe you don't report on it at all. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, you just have to give it its due diligence. That's all.
But one might be conversations, if they were here, they understand
Yeah,
that.
they could understand. Just watch.
Well, I've seen it where they've been here and they.
Well, I know that doesn't guarantee, but I think that it's
Yeah.
better. For that one, that one that slept.
Yeah.
The commission that has several pictures of them.
Yeah. Well, and I sat behind him.
And I understand that everything we do here isn't exciting and newsworthy,
Totally different.
but it's the things that are. It needs to be right.
And that's what I said. Basic facts on what I know. So how do I know anything else in the paper? I mean, this article, I know it's incorrect. So how do I trust anything else?
And maybe we ought to have to put stuff out the day of, we'll put out a message that, read the website, for any information, that kind of stuff.
You kind of
We can't press.
scan. I think that's the other thing, or at least I'm not aware of if it isn't the case, but when somebody from one of the media outlets do reach out, at least from my perspective, I try to be open. I don't try to keep them at arm's length. They want an interview, I usually do that. Or if they need help answering a question, I don't mind doing all that.
Either.
My end goal is that that information gets out there right, so everybody knows what it is that we're doing right.
Ready for David, commissioners?
Yes.
Good morning, commissioners. David Adams, CMS Ambulance Director. I'm here to fill some positions. The first is 2 full-time EMT positions. One was open due to a recent resignation of an employee. I believe you signed that paperwork just a couple days ago. And then the other is one last position open for the opening of the new station in Leonardville. So we did our hiring process a few months ago. We identified 5 people out of that hiring process to go full-time once we get ready to open up the station. As you may recall, we need 6 people full-time for the new station. So we're still short an EMT. So that's what I'm asking for. For that position, we would do the hiring process, go through all of that, and then they would come full-time when the other one who's replacing our resignation goes full-time. So, and then in conjunction with that, we'll bring the rest of them on full-time in preparation for that station opening. So late August, early September, we just do it all at once, make the move, get arms around that operations and get them up and running. So that is the need for the 2 full-time positions. And then as we transition some of these that are PRN to full-time, we'll put out those offers here pretty soon. We've had obviously conversations with them about who's interested in full-time, who's going to work with us. We'll bring those people on full-time at the same time, late August, early September. So, but with bringing them over, we're going to have an open budgeted PRN paramedic and an open budgeted PRN EMT. So I would like to go ahead with this hiring process. Just identify one of each of those if we can for our PRN staff. So the hiring process for us is pretty lengthy. We do general knowledge validated tests based on their level of certification. Then we do skills tests based on their certification and then interviews. So the written test is done one day, then we narrow the field down, bring them back, and then we do the interview and the skills testing all in the same day. So that's why I'm asking to just do this all at once. We're all budgeted within our budget. We're fine budget-wise, but it's easier for us because it takes 5, 6, 7 people to come in to do these hiring processes. And then just for the onboarding and such. So what I'm asking for is 2 full-time EMT positions and then a PRN paramedic and a PRN EMT.
Yes, it's cool.
Questions?
At some point in time, I'm gonna need to see kind of an updated chart.
I can absolutely, I can send you one. Absolutely.
I'm trying to picture all this and where it fits in the equation. And
Sure.
but part of it's just my brain's not functioning properly. As a
Absolutely.
That's all of them. Yeah.
Absolutely. I can do that. It's a little bit different of a setup than what the traditional organizational chart is. Just because 39 people.
Right.
So, but yeah, I've got one. I can send it to you. Absolutely.
That'd be good.
If you can break it down, maybe station.
enough for us.
Yeah.
And break it down station by station, including the new North County station, so we kind of can start looking out.
We've got all that.
Okay.
Absolutely. I can send that to you.
Need a separate motion on all three of the commissioners. Are you ready?
Separate on all three.
One's full time, one's EMT, and one's paramedic.
Full time.
Haven't we already technically made a motion on these? Can we be budgeted or no?
Well, I mean, yeah, formally during the budget, but you do that with all positions that come for you to advertise for them. And you have to have a motion for this, even though it's budgeted in all departments. For any existing position.
Okay, so I guess we'll start with motion to of the hiring of 2 full-time EMTs in Riley County EMS.
I'll second.
So moved and seconded to approve the hiring of 2 full-time EMTs and River EMS. All in favor? Aye.
Okay.
So yeah, I think that's a.
Okay, next one, go ahead and make a motion of the hiring of a PRN paramedic in Riley County EMS.
Second.
Yes, and moved and seconded to hire a PRN paramedic in the EMS. All in favor? Aye.
All three, please sign.
Yeah, David, you have in here proposed annual budget of $8,726.
Yeah, they're PRNs, they're as needed, and we only budget about 250 hours for them.
Oh, okay.
So that's why.
That's why then, okay.
Let me know how large is your pool on that?
10, yeah, we have 5 PRN, paramedic, 8 advanced EMTs, and then 5 full for 5 PRN
Just more
EMTs.
that, I guess, like.
Okay, then,
sure.
Divided by so many people.
Mhm.
That's 10 total, so it's not 10 of one or 10 of the other.
10
Right.
Five.
So you're just trying to find those specific
Correct.
skills, qualifications, whatever you want to call it, background, education. All the above.
Yeah, it says
Are these the PRNs, are they someone actually work somewhere else?
Some of them do. We're some of these that we're gonna bring full-time, work full-time at other places. Some of these PRN, some do, some don't.
Thank you.
It seemed like a part-time, but odd part-time job.
It's pretty common, actually.
Really?
It's very, very common. Yes. So when I was on a street medic, for 24-hour shifts, I worked a couple of part-time jobs. Mhm.
Yeah. Last motion I'll make then is the approval of hiring a PRN EMT in the Riley County EMS department.
Second.
So moved and seconded to approve the hiring of one PRN paramedic in the EMT. Wait a minute, that's wrong.
PRN EMT.
It's been moved and seconded to hire a PRN paramedic and a PRN EMT.
No,
That's
we already
still-
did the paramedic.
We did the paramedic. Okay.
Just the EMT.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to hire the PRN EMT in the Raleigh County Emergency Medical Service. All in favor? Aye.
All three, please sign. Thank you,
Too
David.
many
Thank you.
acronyms, I guess.
Garfield over there is getting a little bit bigger every year. Go on a diet this next year.
Good, make them feel bad.
Out the lasagna.
So my favorite panel from that trip, I've never forgotten it, was when he found out his cousins, who were cats in the country. He was horrified. He found out they ate mice. He was so grossed
I
out.
remember that one as well.
He wouldn't go.
These guys eat mice.
I mean, there's a scene he's attached to the door hinge. He's trying to pull him away to go
Because one thing in
visit.
the newspaper I used to really enjoy was Garfield and Calvin and Hobbes.
I feel like
Oh, yeah. Calvin and Hobbes, big time. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
There aren't any good cartoons like that anymore.
John's probably never even heard of Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I really like
I
that.
used to have one of the big collection books.
I've got one of those too.
Yeah. We've got a couple.
Okay, any other business?
Don't have any.
Yeah, I do. Where we're out on our 410 discussion here.
I think that was the item that they didn't have the description fully of for August 3rd. That's why I asked for clarification.
That's what.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I believe it was, August 3rd,
Okay, so that's next Monday, next Thursday.
next Thursday, I believe.
Okay,
It would be.
so
Yes.
when are we gonna get surveys? I need some
That's part of it.
numbers.
We can
No.
get you ahead down.
Yeah, I wanted to
Well,
have.
let's get these ask Commissioner
Okay.
Ford. So yeah, we're gonna give commissioners details, I explained that
understand.
early, detailed comments because some of it,
But I thought we were gonna get those ahead of time.
we can get you that. We'll get you that.
I thought that's what.
I'd like to be able to review those well in advance, not
Yeah.
get them the day before or when the agenda
Absolutely.
comes out.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, it's taken a month to compile the data, so we've got quite a bit there.
Which must be a file.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there are. I haven't.
Yeah.
so it may take us more than one day to look at it.
We'll get you the surveys and the comments, anything else on that you want ahead of time.
No, like I say, just what, the
What
thought that was I knew was when
Uh-huh.
I saw the. info
Yeah,
ahead
I'm
of
sure
time,
there is a-
have some
I'm sure there is a background.
background on it.
Yep.
I mean, I understand it takes some time to compile all that, to put together
Uh-huh.
a presentation for discussion, but we should be able to get at least a digital copy of those
Okay.
at this point in time to review on our own, because I'm not gonna have time to do it in 24 hours.
Yeah, me either.
We'll get you that.
Okay,
We'll get you that. Yeah, I'm sure there will be a lot.
You know how many there are?
Do not like.
I know there was 203 in turn.
I heard numbers of how many we received, but as far as the details of them, I haven't seen them.
So that's a lot to review.
Oh, yeah,
We need to-
because some people like leaving comments and others just do the survey, but and some of the comments can be lengthy.
Okay, that's,
Yeah, we'll get you that information as soon as we can.
that's all I have.
Hopefully, by
That one.
Okay. That's it. Moving forward.
And I'll go ahead and make a motion to adjourn the July 27th meeting of the Raleigh County Commission.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to adjourn the July 27th